While punk tends to be seen as a white male-dominated scene, many of those who are integrated within the culture understand that there is a lot more diversity to it than the general public may realize. One of these diverse punk communities came out of the heart of Los Angeles in East LA, a primarily Latino and Chicano neighborhood of the city. The barrios of East LA are home to many low-income, immigrant families with children who are first-generation Americans or immigrants themselves. Some of the most influential artists to come out of the East LA scene include Alice Bag, featured in the 1981 documentary The Decline of Western Civilization, Los Illegals, and the Brat. But the East LA scene didn't form overnight either. Until 1980, the punk scene in the barrios was played primarily in small backyard shows that were hardly advertised. There was also conflict between the other punk scenes of LA. The Hollywood punks specifically had a rivalry with East LA, the two neighborhoods' bands arguing over their music and who was allowed at which shows.
Melrose Avenue, West Hollywood, an area where a lot of punkers congregate, live, and shop, with stores geared to the punk look and lifestyle. One of the largest and most successful stores is Posers. Merchandise on hand ranges from armbands to leather jackets to hair dyes and paints.
This conflict wasn't solved until East LA got an established venue.
Playing a lot of gigs on the east side. And I remember it was really almost impossible for us to get any shows on the west side, to play any of these clubs on the west side. And I don't want to say that it was racist or anything, but it might just be like every scene has a clique. You know, there becomes like these cliques of people, and they only they see each other's shows. And I guess in the East LA scene too, it was like a clique of bands from the east side.
Welcome back. Time now is 8:49. When you think of East Los Angeles, you probably do not think of a big art scene. But look in the heart of the barrio and you'll find Self-Help Graphics. It was founded in a garage in the early 70s by a nun who wanted to give art students a place to work. That same nun is still working at her mission, making Self-Help Graphics a community institution.
My name is Sister Karen Buckler.
Okay, could you tell us about the beginning of Self-Help Graphics, like how everything started?
Well, essentially, we were part of the Chicano art.
Franciscan nun Karen Bocalero was, perhaps without realizing it, a large part of East LA truly establishing the punk scene. Karen opened the non-profit art studio Self-Help Graphics in Boyle Heights in 1973 with the mission of introducing the East LA community to a variety of art mediums such as screen printing or filmmaking, and giving them a space to create their art. In 1980, the punks came to Sister Karen asking about a venue. She allowed them to use the second floor of the art studio.
Well, I started off with Sister Karen in 1974 and started getting involved with her doing exhibitions. So at one point I approached her and just said, you know, a lot of the bands, the local bands around here, there's not really that many venues for the bands to play.
This created the first official venue of East LA, known as the Vex, or the Vex Club. With an official spot to hold larger concerts at, punk in East LA was able to grow much larger than when it was contained to the backyards of the barrio. This even allowed the community to move past the conflict with Hollywood punks through a show inviting bands from both scenes to play. This punk prom was held at the Vex and finally united the two divergent scenes. The Vex was short-lived, lasting only about a year in its original space until a riot that broke out at a Black Flag show heavily damaged it. But the Vex's influence lasted long past its short existence. It was clear that the punk community of East Los had outgrown its first venue. The Vex was only the beginning of a culture that's lasted even into recent years.